Hi, I'm Angie, and in today's video I am going to guide you through stepped breathing. So what that does is it makes you more aware of your lungs, how they work, and building the capacity of your lungs and how they breathe. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Hi. Okay, so stepped breathing is something I learned during yoga classes, oh blimey, 20 odd years ago, maybe 30 years ago. Can't remember now, it's been a long time. And what I found it did is it really brought my awareness to the whole of my lungs, because they go right from kind of underneath that squidgy bit just below the bottom of your rib cage, and they go all the way up to like just where your collarbone is. Yeah, so your lungs are huge. Okay, so by bringing your awareness to the different, there's kind of, in step breathing there's 3 different steps. So you feel the bottom of the lungs, then you feel the middle of the lungs, and then you feel the top of the lungs. So what's really interesting about that is it really hones your awareness of where your lungs are, and of when you breathe fully into your lungs, you realize how powerful that can be. We'll also be doing a video which will be probably next week's video, one of them, on a breath work for the base chakra, and that involves this kind of stepped breathing. Okay, so if you get to grips with this, then when that video comes along, you'll get it. Okay, so just a quick interjection before I begin, just to remind you that this is on YouTube. We're also on BitChute, so if you can go along, click the link below. There's a link for BitChute just below this video in the description, because I'm trying to build subscribers there as well. And you can also donate really easily with using BitChute. Okay, so if you love what we're doing, you can do that really easily on BitChute. We're also on MeWe, so come join us in our group or on our page on MeWe, all under the Witch's Path. We're also on Soundcloud, we're on Pinterest, we're also on Patreon, and we also have a couple of websites that you can go and visit. Links are in the description below. Okay, so let's get on with the breath. So I want you to get yourselves comfortable in a seated position. Okay, so if that means sitting up against the wall to keep your spine nice and long, then do that. Or you can get a bolster, place it under your bottom just to keep your spine nice and long. Or if you need to, sit in a chair. Okay, there's no rules, as long as you can sit comfortably with your spine long and not be encumbered by clothing, too tight. I'm not suggesting, well, you can do it naked if you want to. I'm not going to do that personally, but you can if you want to. So I'm just going to take this off because it's a bit warm. And if you can as well, open a window. Yeah, when you're doing pranayama, it's always good to have like a window open, or not have it too warm in the room. Yeah, that's something that I personally find helps. So if you want to ground beforehand, and I will be doing a video on grounding as well, because it's something I'm always talking about for past students, present students, anyone who wants to listen about grounding. I will talk about grounding until the cows come home. Something you can do is you can plug first 2 fingers down into the ground, and if you do this outside, it's really cool. So dig little holes in the ground. You can do it now because it's thawed out a bit. Couldn't have done this last week. So you can make holes in the ground with your fingers and then plug in, which is really powerful. So you can ground, take a few breaths here. And then we're going to come into the breathing. So don't forget, I'm going to use Ujjayi here. So if you know Ujjayi, if you've been practicing your Ujjayi breathing, then you can use that here. Otherwise, just normal breathing through the nose if you can. Yeah. The reason that we advocate breathing through the nose is it moistens, cleanses, and warms the air that's going into your lungs. Okay. So hands, just place them on the knees or in the lap. You can bring a crystal in if you want to. What have I got here today? Today I have an amazing piece of Super 7. So I'm just going to hold that in my hands. Okay. So just get yourself settled. So when we breathe in, I want you to imagine it like a balloon. So like I was explaining before about do you breathe properly. So that video will be up there right now. And I'll also include the Breathe Properly video at the end of this video as well. Okay. But what we do is like when you're blowing up a balloon, so you go, and then you take a breath, and you do it that way. So that's what we're going to do with this step breathing. Yeah. So we step, so you breathe in, kind of, you suspend it, and then you breathe in again, suspend it, and then you breathe in again. So it's like filling up a balloon from the bottom, pause, fill up the middle, pause, fill up the top, pause. And then when we exhale, what I want you to try and do is exhale either from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom, whichever feels right for you. Either's good. Okay. Now this, I wouldn't say this is an advanced breath work, but I would definitely say get yourself familiar with like the 448, the Ujjayi, and just get familiar with those first. Okay, get familiar with pranayama before you do this one. Okay, if you go straight into this one, it's not really going to work for you. All right, because you need a little bit of awareness of your breath before you begin this. Okay, so get settled. Okay, so we're breathing through the nose. I'm going to come into Ujjayi breathing. So if it helps when you're doing this, you can place your hands on the area that you are, of the lungs that you're trying to fill. So you can bring the hands just below the ribs when you fill up the middle of the bottom of the lungs, and then come to the sides of the ribs when you're filling the middle, and then you can bring the hands just to the collarbones when you're filling the top of the lungs. Okay, so we begin. One more time. And just come back to normal breathing. And if you feel like you want to, you can ground as well. So, how did that feel? So you might be feeling expansive across the top of the chest. You might even feel expansive through the back of the body as well, because it does work on that. And as you gain more experience with this particular breath, what you can do is you can actually feel that breath in the back of the body. So the back of the lungs also begin to expand. Now that is quite amazing, because what you can do with that, if you use breath in a professional capacity, so swimming, singing, anything that requires you to use the entire capacity of your lungs in some way, breathing into the back of the lungs will actually give you a little bit more capacity. Yeah, I found it very helpful with mantra. If it's a very long mantra that needs to be done on one breath, by breathing into the top of the back of the lungs, I get that little bit more, yeah, that I can use for the exhale for the mantra. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Go away, practice, yeah, because the thing with any kind of pranayama, yoga, kundalini, whatever, mantra, whatever that is practice. The more you practice, the more familiar it becomes, yeah, and the more you will just do it when you need to, okay, because there's it's like muscle memory, yeah. Once the neurons have been formed in your mind, it will just go there, yeah. It's like clearing a path. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, we're on MeWe, we're on where are we? We're on Soundcloud, we're on YouTube, we're on BitChute, we're on Patreon, and there's also plenty of links down there to our websites. If you're interested in the Sekhmet healing work, and I feel that I need to do a live discussion around what that entails, so you've got an idea, you can go to crystalsrockearth.weebly.com, and on the Sekhmet page you will find the loads of information there, and the sign up form as well that you can go and sign up with. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. Be fearless, stay witchy.